MDR is potentially going to be that same level of dependency attached with cybersecurity insurance. What are your thoughts on this? Let's unpack it.
This episode is made possible by OITVOIP. Find your best-in-class revenue generation for MSPs all over the world. Learn more via the link in the show notes.
You're watching MSP Dispatch, your source for news, community events, and commentary in the MSP channel. My name is Tony Francisco, and in today's story, MSPs struggle to keep up with cybersecurity challenges. In a story from channelE2E.com, a recent Sophos study highlights that many managed service providers, MSPs, struggle to keep up with cybersecurity challenges, with 39% reporting that their biggest daily challenge is staying current with the latest technologies. The main risks include a shortage of in-house skills, stolen data, and unpatched vulnerabilities. Nearly 29% of ransomware attacks begin with compromised credentials. The complex threat landscape has increased demand for managed detection and response, that's MDR, services, with 81% of MSPs offering MDR and 97% planning to add it. Furthermore, 99% have noticed a growing need for cyber insurance assistance, particularly for integrating MDR services to improve insurability. Josh, great to have you on the show, and let's talk about this little topic that no one cares about. And by that, I mean everyone cares about it, but no one knows how to address it. I have talked to so many MSPs on a daily basis that talk about MDR, EDR, XDR, and the impact, the peripheral impact of the security implications. But there's always a bolt-on portion of insurance at the end. Cybersecurity insurance, which is a requirement and is going to become not just a necessity/requirement, but literally dependency to move anything forward from a business perspective. We're now hearing this at a global scale that MDR is potentially going to be that same level of dependency attached with cybersecurity insurance. What are your thoughts on this? Let's unpack it.
Yeah, so I mean, you nailed it. The cyber insurance is what's pushing it. The cyber insurance usually takes a couple of years to catch up to what's actually happening. Last year, their hot topic was vulnerability management, and now this year it's MDR. And the reason being is it's all a numbers game. It's a stat. They look at them and they go, hey, the companies who have MDR, they don't file as many claims. They don't cost us as much money as the companies who don't have MDR. So we don't want to spend all that money. We're going to therefore require MDR. We'll see what's next. Personally, I hope it's policies and procedures, because that's something that also a lot of businesses are lacking. But I mean, they're right to call this out. And this is where we've kind of talked about too, where to be an MSP, I mean, anyone could be an MSP. Barbers are more regulated in the industry that they have to be in than we are as an MSP, right? You could start an MSP with next to nothing, working out of your car, really, in your basement. So that's where, it is going to be lacking, because it is something of a specialized skill. When talking about cybersecurity, it seems like, it's a hot job that everybody wants, but an entry-level cybersecurity position isn't an entry-level tech job. You have to have knowledge and experience and expertise to land an entry-level cybersecurity job. And then, furthermore from there, getting up there. So there is, when they say there's a huge lack of it or a lack of talent, I would say it's a lack of kind of experienced in that, because it is something that also almost exploded overnight too. 90s, early 2000s, this isn't probably something that most were concerned about. It was more about backups, uptime, etc. And now this is the top of our mind. This is what we all are concerned about.
Excellent points. You've been on the show multiple times. I've been doing the show for a little bit. I think, what is this show number? We're past 200, somewhere in the 210s, 220s. One of the things that I've mentioned multiple times, and it seems to have resonated throughout the MSP community, throughout our audience, is I talk about how we, in today's world, implement a mechanism, and then we define our policies, processes around that, and then, we define our processes, and then we define our policies. When ironically, it should be the opposite way. We define our policies first, then from there, once those policies are established, here are the processes that we're going to follow, ideally to those particular policies we've already confirmed. And then we look at software applications, the mechanisms that will support those particular processes. And the software can be sunset. The one thing you don't want to do is bolt on at the end something and keep your fingers crossed, use hope as a strategy. But this is a very hot topic. I love talking about this. I would love some of the feedback from our audience about, how they're handling MDR, XDR, specifically cyber insurance. And we all have to understand that you're going to be attacked from all ways, all directions out there. And in fact, I think your next story literally talks about the one big player out there that just confirmed some leaked data. You want to jump into that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And my notable mention for the week, Google confirms the leaked search documents are real. In an article from The Verge, Google has confirmed the authenticity of a collection of 2,500 leaked internal documents, shedding light on the data it collects. These documents provide insights into Google's search ranking algorithm, a process that is kept secret. Despite cautioning against misinterpretation, Google spokesperson Davis Thompson emphasized the company's transparency efforts. The leaked documents, initially highlighted by SEO experts Rand Fishkin and Mike King, suggest Google gathers data that may influence search results contrary to previous claims. While the leaked documents don't clarify how data impacts rankings, they offer industry professionals a glimpse into Google's decision-making processes, potentially impacting SEO strategies and business operations relying on web traffic. So Google uses data to alter their search results. I mean, is that a big surprise? Like, who would have thought?
Here's the thing. We're talking about SEO, and which is the nebulous part of marketing. Now, marketing is more than nebulous. I think the saying is, 50% of your marketing budget works amazingly well. You just don't know which 50%. And so when you talk about SEO, search engine optimization, there's automation, there's references to track the references, the clickbacks, the anchor links, what are the action items, what are the updates, the daily updates, what are the search terms that you're actually focusing on, and what is the relevance to that particular search. So I am fascinated by SEO because you're trying to thread a needle well on a galloping horse, and I just don't know what's even possible. So if there's a 2,500 page internal document that says how to do it, one, I'm impressed they got it to 2,500 pages. Two, why isn't that published? And then from an automation perspective, created in an algorithm that'll allow AI to automate your search engine or your page to accommodate the search engine of choice, in this case, Google. Just my thoughts. Probably not the person to ask. I'm more on the engineer side. Marketing is it's gibberish to me. I get conceptually what it's doing, but it's just black magic.
Well, hold on. I'll answer from the marketing side. Money. That's why.
The driving force. I love it.
I mean, if I seem to get better SEO results than you, even though nobody knows what the algorithm is, but I've cracked a little bit a part of it, and it's this black magic. I can say, hey, you can pay Tony for it, or you can pay me because here's my results versus Tony's results. Now, no one knows how this works. Now, if everyone knows how this works, well, now we're on equal playing field. And what's the difference if I do it? What's the difference if you do it? What's the difference if a person XYZ or the company does it? Right? It's almost to Google's benefit to keep that a secret, so that way people will keep having to spend money on Google ads, and the more money they spend, the more eyes that they're going to get, something with that. So whether it's consumer friendly or not, that's a different conversation. But I think at the end of the day, the money's always the driving factor into that.
I have friends that are CMOs that have, 6-figure monthly Google expenses and approaching higher. And I am fascinated by it because I always ask the same question. How do you know what's working? I always get the same answer. Well, there's reports and there's analytics and there's metrics. And I say, okay, that's interesting. But how do you know what's actually working? And there's a long pause. Yeah. And then there's the, maybe he knows what we're not trying to say. And it is very confusing. I think those that are in marketing have created a formulaic approach that reverse engineers everything, saying if this is the dollar value you're trying to get, as opposed to, hey, we're going to get you a dollar value from this budget and we're going to build up and this is how much we should get. This is the dollar value you're chasing. We know that it's going to require this amount of sales. We know that this many people can call this many people, which will equate to this type of turnover, equating to that revenue, which will give you that amount of revenue at the end. And we know what the cost of that's going to be. Consequently, we are going to need X amount of budget to hire this many people and pull in the leads to do the conversion rate. So it's kind of a reverse formulaic approach, and a huge kiss of that's the chef's kiss. That is a tip of the hat. That's the most respect for the marketing people that actually do that. But I still don't understand how it works. I just go and I want to know if they're all reading that 2,500 page document. Maybe we can put that in the show notes.
There we go. I mean, to me, it's like wireless. The more you dig in, the more you try to understand it, the less you actually know, and it all just becomes black magic. So.
If you found this episode eye-opening, catch more MSP Dispatch at 10 a.m. throughout the week. Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.